Hello, I'm Matt from World of Ukes and I'm looking today at a Baton Rouge V2-S Soprano. I also have the V2-SW, which is the same, but the V2-S has a 35mm nut. The V2-SW, the W stands for wide, and it has a 38mm nut. So this demo will do for both of them. Why am I making a demo of an instrument that I've stocked for many years? Not this particular one, but it's something that I've had in my catalogue for years and years now. Well, I've decided that in the year ahead, it would be a good idea to look at some of the sort of mainstays of the ukes that I've liked and sold for a number of years, because perhaps there's a bit of a tendency for everything to be about what's new. It's natural. I feed into that. I get a new model in, I'm excited about it, I make a video about it straight away. But actually, I'd like to concentrate a little bit more on stuff that's maybe been around for a while, but might well be the right uke for you because it's good. And yes, I don't really go on about the Baton Rouge V2-SW or the V2-S Soprano because I've had them for a while and I've got a bit complacent about them. They're good, and if people ring me up, I'll suggest them. But I'd like to perhaps focus a little bit more on good stuff that's been around for a while this year, rather than the sort of endless production line of new and exciting models in different finishes. It can be a bit, you can get a bit overloaded. But as I say, I'm guilty of that. I've got a couple of Millers behind me. There's one there and one there. They came in just before Christmas. They're not yet advertised. This is the sort of thing that keeps me awake at night, thinking I must get those on. Nobody can buy them. I've paid for them. So new stuff does arrive, and yeah, I'm still going to get excited about it, and I do need to sell it. But I do think something relatively modest like this Baton Rouge, it does deserve a bit more praise. So I'm going to demonstrate using the V2-S. And we'll have a little bit of a closer look at it now. So having a closer look at the V2-S, it's a fairly plain laminate mahogany instrument, but not a bad looking mahogany, to be in all honesty. And it's got this laser etching around the sound hole, which is by the by. Some people like it, some people don't, but it doesn't hurt and it makes it a little bit fancier, I suppose. One thing I do like about these instruments is they have a slightly arched back. Quite difficult to show you that, but there's just a slight curve, which I feel like it softens the sound. The back's primary role is to reflect out the sound, and I think it sort of softens that process and makes it a little bit more mellow. This one is the V2-S, which has a 35mm nut, and the V2-SW has a wider 38mm nut. I prefer to play 35, but especially when you have larger fingers, a 38mm nut can be useful, and I can certainly play that too. So it gives the option. It means they've thought about it. So I think the V2-S is a really good sub £100 soprano, suitable for beginners, but serious beginners, and also people who perhaps want to dabble with a soprano. It sounds nice without breaking the bank. Perhaps if you're usually a tenor player or a baritone player, but you fancy a bit of traditional soprano sound, then this could be for you as well. So I say sub £100, but actually something to note about Baton Rouge is you can often get them more cheaply on the continent. So if you were to order it from Germany, from one of the big box shifting companies, you'll find that their prices are significantly lower actually. I think the price I have is great, but you can get it even cheaper. But so why is that? Well, in the UK they're distributed by Stones Music. Mark, who runs that, is a good friend of mine, and he will make checks and adjustments before it comes to me, which adds some value. Now I would do that anyway, even if he didn't, but it's nice that when I get them, I have my tweaks and my little personal stamp that I want to put on it, but I know that they're going to be good. In fact, I can go now to my workshop briefly just to show you the sort of thing that I mean. So I've got my Baton Rouge V2-S on the bench here, and I'm just going to check what the action is like from the box. So we're looking about 3mm at the 12th fret. I suspect, though, that would be higher from the factory. The reason I know this is because I have had them direct from the factory once, when the distributor, it was last minute, and I asked, could I get some sent before the distributor went on holiday, and he said, I can send them, but I can't adjust them. So I said yes, and they were a little bit higher. So I'm going to take the saddle out here and just have a look, see if my suspicions are confirmed. And yes, you can see there's a little bit of pencil on there, which will be Stone's music. The Baton Rouge distributor will have lowered this already. Mark there, he says he tries to get everything out with a reasonable action, which I would agree. You know, 3mm is reasonable. I'll take it down a bit further, but that's just my preference, and I'm going to do that now because I'm a bit like the Princess and the Pea. If it's higher than 2.5mm, I can feel it. So before I do my demo video, I'm going to lower the action, and then we'll go back and have a listen to it. So I'm going to demonstrate the V2-S now. I'm playing the 35mm S as opposed to the 38mm SW. They sound the same. I just prefer the regular nut width, so that's what I'm going to do. They're the same price as well, but the choice is yours. fact that it does go wrong on that last little bit. It's a really nice little soprano for a really decent price. This is the Baton Rouge V2-S, and yeah, I think looking at stuff that's really good but has been around for a while is not a bad thing to do. I've enjoyed playing that, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you very much.
World of Ukes.co.uk, World of Ukes.co.uk.